Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to look at a Leetcode problem, and the problem's name is kids with greatest number of candies. So there are n kids with candies, and we are given an integer array called candies, where each element, candies of I, represent the number of candies that kid has. And we are also given an integer variable extra candies, denoting the number of extra candies that you have. And our task is to return a boolean array called result of length same as the candies array, and each element inside result of I is going to be a boolean value, true or false. It will be true if after giving that kid all the extra candies, they will have the greatest number of candies among all the kids. Else we have to return false for that kid, and there can be multiple kids that have greatest number of candies. So let's take a look at this example and see how we are getting the output array, and then code it up later. I've taken the same example as example 1. So this is the input nums given to us called candies. So after adding the extra candies to each element, we have to compare if that kid is having the greatest number of candies. For that, we have to find the current greatest without adding the extra candies. So you can see the current greatest is 5. So how are you finding it? We have to iterate through the input array and calculate the max. So max will be initially integer.min value, that is the least possible value, and we start our iteration from here. I is equal to 2. We compare if the current element 2 is greater than max. 2 is greater than minus 2 power 31. So update max with the current element. Current element is 2. So max is 2 and increment I. I is now pointing at 3. Check if 3 is greater than 2. Yes, 3 is greater. So update max. So max is 3 now. I is pointing at 5 now. Now check if 5 is greater than max. 5 is greater than 3. So update max. Max is now 5. The next element is 1. Check if 1 is greater than 5. No, it's not. So don't do anything and proceed further. Now I is pointing at 3. Check if 3 is greater than max. No, it's not. So proceed further. And now we reach the end of the array. So whatever is present at max now is the max element inside the candies array. Now we have the max. Now we have to keep adding the extra candies to every element inside the candies array and check if it is greater than or equal to max. So we'll declare a result which is boolean values. So initially it is empty. It will be of the same length as the candies array. Now we start our iteration again. I is pointing here. Add the current element and candies. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Check if this is greater than or equal to max. 5 is greater than or equal to 5. So assign true to that element. So the value for this kid is true. And now go for the next iteration. Now I is pointing at 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 is greater than 5. So this kid also gets assigned true. And now increment I. Now I is pointing at 5. 5 plus extra candies is 3 is equal to 8. 8 is greater than 5. So this kid also gets assigned true. Now increment I. Current element is 1. Extra candies is 3. So total is 4. Check if 4 is greater than or equal to 5. No. So assign false to that. And now increment I. Now current element is 3. Extra candies is 3, which is equal to 6. Check if 6 is greater than or equal to 5. Yes. So assign true to that kid. And now increment I. And now we reach the end of the candies array. So you end our iteration, and whatever is present inside the result list will be returned as the output. So this is our output, which is matching the expected output. Now let's implement these steps in a Java program. Coming to the function given to us, this is the function name, and this is the integer array candies. And we are also given an integer variable extra candies. The return type of this question is a list of boolean elements. So we have to return a list consisting of boolean values as the output. So first we have to find the maximum number of candies. So for that I created a max element and initialized with the minimum possible value, so that from the next time whenever you find a value that is greater than max, you assign max with that element. So for that, let's iterate through the input array from starting to end, and each time you find an element that is greater than current max, you update the max with that candies element, and this will happen for all the elements inside the candies array, and the max variable will contain the maximum number of candies. Now we declare our output result array, which will contain boolean values. Now again we have to iterate through the input array from left to right, so starting from index 0 till the last index of the candies, and inside this you're using a if statement to check if the current candies plus adding the extra candies is greater than or equal to the max. If that is the case, add true for that kid. Else it means opposite of this statement. If adding extra candies to the current candies is less than max, then you assign false to that kid. So this will happen for all the elements inside the candies array. And finally, outside the for loop, you can return the list result. Now let's run the code. The test cases are running. Let's submit the code. And our solution has been accepted. So the time complexity of this approach is O of n, where n is the length of the candies array And the space complexity is O of 1 because we are not using any extra space to compute the output. Generally, the return type is not considered towards the space complexity. So you won't count this list of Boolean values because we are using that to store and display the output. So the space complexity is constant O of 1. That's it guys, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.